countries in the world, dramatic effects of climate change, a democracy under threat. Little known previously and now in the news every day. A coup, Islamic invasion in the north, Sharia law, global powers positioning on oil, gold, drugs, French troops, United Nations resolutions, West African armies, hostages, blimey. The French suddenly heroes. Too big a challenge? This is Tiffin, come on. Yay! You who want to make a difference. You who need to know what the risks really are and are investing in social change for the long term. Okay, now the other end of the telescope. Big gnarled trees, nuts rich in oil, used for centuries by women who harvest, pound, boil and make a tiny living from selling locally. Shea nuts are harvested and processed by women from mature trees that grow naturally in the dry Sahel region just south of the Sahara, where growing other crops is always difficult, now even more so because of climate change. This is where Sahel Eco was set up, to work with local communities, supporting sustainable management of the land and tree products. This is the tub that tells my story. I paid £8 for that shea butter in Body Shop, and it comes from neighbouring Ghana, and it's great. Good enough for my face, anyway. With the help of international NGOs, women in West Africa have set up cooperatives and developed their processing to fit these international markets and get added value for their work, but not in Mali. So building on this for Mali, Sahel Eco has done some of the groundwork in the area where they already have strong links because of their existing work, on the long road to that tub. And it's not actually as simple as it sounds. I first got involved through Tiffin when we funded the launch of Fair Trade Cotton. I was going to Mali anyway and visited cotton farmers in Mali and started to wonder about the potential for fair trade shea butter. But the Fair Trade Foundation warned me very seriously of the real risk of dashing hopes, raising hopes and then dashing them if you don't get the market right. They should know it happened to the Malian cotton farmers. So the aim of the Mali Shea Tulu is to enable women who already harvest and process the shea nuts to achieve a sustainable increase in their income by adding value to the product, selling at higher prices and increasing their production. So what can be done to help them and what are the barriers? So Sahel Eco has already trained 400 rural women in how to produce high quality butter. See the pictures. Take Tonti up to her elbows in the green tub. But then how does Tonti sell it at a price that reflects that extra work? Sahel Eco had a great idea, backed by the EU, for selling other tree products. It's called Radio Marché, and it uses a mobile phone system to create very local markets, to link a farmer with a kilo of apricots via a crackly radio with a nomadic trader. Don't ask me, I have absolutely no idea how it works. But it is working for honey, tamarind and apricots, but not yet for shea. Across the area, other NGOs have concentrated on the training and setting up cooperatives, but they continue to have difficulty in securing the markets. We just don't want to make that mistake. We know we must invest in market and supply chain research. And there are some really big questions. Have these guys with the tub already cornered the export market, or are there avenues not yet tried? What potential is there for an alternative use, low cholesterol cooking oil, as an alternative use for the nuts? Is there evidence of the health benefits claimed for shea? How can Radio Marché be adapted to work for larger quantities and regional markets for shea? So funding is now needed to bring in the expertise and capacity to undertake this feasibility and set it up on the path, to visit and learn the lessons from the other areas, to understand regional, national and international markets, to test the scientific and local knowledge about the superiority or otherwise of shea oil for cooking. The point is that Sahel Eco's funding is primarily for its environmental work to resist the effects of climate change, so planting trees and working with farmers. This project builds on their solid reputation and their links with communities, but it is completely new work for them, and it must be done properly, so it needs money. And what more could be achieved if Tonti and the women in Tominian could also talk to an economic expert in those areas in their own language, and meet the woman in Ghana who sells to the Body Shop. Okay, to the women in Tominian, the troubles in the north feel like a long way away. And the intention of the international intervention is to keep it that way. But you wouldn't believe me if I said there was no risk. This may not be the best time, but it is the only time. Sahel Eco is there for the long term and is best placed to judge when to do the work. But the only time you can make your pledge is tonight. It's crucial that aid and support to local communities doesn't simply dry up at times of crisis. This effectively abandons local people at a time when they need us most. The future stability of Mali, both in north and south, depends very heavily on Malian NGOs, not international armies. It's vital that they're supported and sustained because they're the ones that represent civic society and empowerment. Both the things that are really under threat from the terrorists in the north. So back to Tonti. We know that boosting women's income is the most effective way out of poverty. We can see huge potential for Shea as a sustainable source of income, not just for the few hundred women in Tominian, but with the ripples across the rest of Mali and Sahel. So please, help Sahel Eco to develop this responsibly, bridging that huge gap between international markets and the women under the glass roof. That's what social change means. Please pledge. Thank you.